Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie Kinslow, and I'm the Interim Director of Assessment and Accountability. And this is the STAAR Alt 2 and TELPAS Alt training for the 2025-2026 school year. Thank you for supporting our students who participate in STAAR Alternate 2 and TELPAS Alternate. This training is meant to highlight key points and reminders and does not replace reading the required TEA manuals. Those are still essential. So let's start with STAAR Alternate 2. STAAR Alternate 2 is an alternate assessment aligned to alternate academic achievement standards. It is only for students who meet participation requirements, which isn't our decision. Eligible students include grades 3 through 8 and any high school student enrolled in EOC courses. It is a paper-based assessment administered one-to-one. Students who qualify to take STAAR Alternate 2 for all tested subjects, not just one. Eligibility guidance is found on the STAAR Alternate 2 resource page. Our committee should rely on the participation requirements, the companion document, and FAQ to help make the decision if a student qualifies for STAAR Alternate 2. Key dates for STAAR Alternate 2. There are two windows for STAAR Alternate 2. There is a preview window, and then there's an assessment window. The preview window starts on March 2nd. And the assessment window starts on March 16th, which is our spring break, and runs through April 17th. We do lose a week of testing in our testing window during spring break. All student answers must be entered into TIDE no later than April 17th at midnight. If a student moves into a district after the first day of the STAAR Alternate 2 window, we're still testing, the district must provide a testing opportunity to the student. If they move in and we have completed testing, we are not required to administer the test. If we are unable to administer a test to a student, we do need to contact TEA. All test administrators must be trained and must read the manual. And ideally, a test administrator for STAAR Alternate 2 would be a teacher who is familiar with the student. The preview window, which starts on March 2nd, is for adult preparation, not for student instruction. Teachers should practice reading scripts, review the scoring rules, and plan accommodations. This is not a pre-teach window, and showing any secure materials to students before testing is a serious irregularity. Students must always see the student booklet first before looking at image cards. Image cards are optional supports, not replacements. Cards must be completely clean, free of highlighting, textures, or marks, and cards can be reused within the same grade level if they are clean. All image cards must be returned as non-scorable materials. If you are given 32 cards, you must return all 32 cards back to your testing coordinator. And every stimulus aid does not necessarily have an accompanying image card. Responses are recorded on a fillable scoring document. They are located at the back of the student's test booklet, but can also be printed off from the STAAR Alternate 2 page. Please note that the RLA, Math, and Social Studies have 24 questions, while Science has 28. For your testing environment, STAAR Alternate 2 must be administered one-to-one. Testing environments should minimize distractions, protect confidentiality. Cameras in classrooms are allowed, but students cannot be removed from camera view. For our district, we are asking that if you are testing in a room with a camera, that you hold up a sign saying STAAR Alt testing. Beginning and STAAR Alt test end. That way our district, if they get a Freedom of Information Act or if someone asks to view the cameras, that they will know that what they see is confidential if they see any testing materials. STAAR Alternate 2 essay statements are also on the STAAR Alt 2 webpage. Essay statements provide the big idea of topics to be assessed on the Spring STAAR. There is also an instructional terms tab, which is content area instructional terms listed by grade level. There are also release tests that you may view and practice if you would like, located on the STAAR Alternate 2 page. And for scoring, once you fill out your answer document, you and your CTC will decide who will enter the students' answers into the RE, which is this response entry side of Cambium. Responses must be submitted no later than April 17th at midnight. Responses not submitted by the due date will not be scored or reported. So it's highly recommended that we start days before the testing window ends to make sure that all of our responses are entered. If a student does not complete testing, a score code must be selected. A student might be marked as absent, medical exception, NAR, or other. NAR is determined in the ARD, and any student that has that has been determined NAR in the ARD must let the coordinator know that they need to add that score code to the student's record. And medical exemption and NAR decisions must be made before testing and documented in the IEP. All accommodations that you use outside of the image cards must be marked on the answer document, and those also must be entered into TIDE by your testing coordinator. And here are a list of a bunch of resources for STAAR Alternate 2. Now we're going to move on to TELPAS Alternate. TELPAS Alternate is a holistic inventory, like a survey, that assesses the language domains of listening, speaking, and writing for students with the most significant cognitive disabilities. Who qualifies for TELPAS Alternate? Any student who would take STAAR Alt and is marked an emergent bilingual will take TELPAS Alternate in grades 2 through 12. For our second graders, the ARD needs to determine whether they would qualify for STAAR Alt, and if they would, then they would take TELPAS Alternate. For our students in foundational learning who are in kinder and first, those students will be rated as holistically like all kindergartners and first graders. The alternate participation requirements are, there is a document that you can click on, and there's specific instructions on students enrolled in grades 2 and grades 3 through 12. Students who have medical exemption or non-authentic academic response or NAR should be determined in the ARD, and those score codes will be entered by your CTC. The dates for TELPAS Alternate are February 16th through March 27th. Our district dates, though, have those due no later than March 24th so that your coordinator can enter that into the RE. So what does TELPAS Alternate look like? It looks like the question down below. It is a survey based off of your observations of student behavior in the domains of listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Ratings are based on knowledge of the student over time and not on a single day. This is not a test that you will pull a student to administer. This is based on your observations throughout the year. The TELPAS alternate resource page has a link to the alternate proficiency level descriptors and explain how you rate each student in each domain. You may rate them in the awareness stage, imitation, early independence, developing independence, or basic fluency based on each part of the PLDs. The purpose of elementary and secondary examples that are listed illustrate how a student could demonstrate each skill at the proficiency level. However, there are different ways to demonstrate a skill. So they are just examples, and teachers are encouraged to use your own activities in the classroom when determining a student's ability to understand English. There are options for extra training if you would like. There are training options in the LMS that your CTC can give you access to. And then there are PowerPoints for each domain on the TELPAS alternate resources page. There is no calibration for TELPAS alternate. Observable behavior inventories will be sent out and can also be printed if needed. TELPAS alternate responses may be different than what you would normally think. For listening, a student could gaze at or point or touch something to show that they're listening, or gesture. For the speaking domain, they might verbalize, they might sign, or they may form responses with a communication device. For reading, they might read, they might gaze at or point or touch. And for writing, they might write, they may gaze or point or touch as well. All entries must be entered into TIDE and the student response entry as well. And these are the score codes that your CTC could enter if we cannot score a student. Please make sure that your CTCs know if a student is NAR or has a medical exemption. And here are the resources that are available. Thank you so much for attending this training. Before leaving, please make sure you complete your digital oath for the 2025-2026 school year. If you need or would like more training, we will have a meeting. The tentative date is February 11th, and you will receive an email with the link. It will be on Teams, and you are welcome to drop into our STAAR Alternate 2 TELPAS office hours to ask any questions and to go through any parts of STAAR Alternate 2 or TELPAS Alt. Thank you. Have a good day.